Assalamu alaikum, good evening, afternoon, late afternoon to everybody. It's a pleasure to have you all here. This is the media conference promoting Andy Street for the mayoral campaign here. Just to give you a slight insight, Andy Street has been a managing director for John Lewis's, very high experienced guy in the business and the employment side. And I just want to give you a brief, I won't take long, I just want to give you a brief insight of the relationship which we have with Pakistan from the United Kingdom. United Kingdom is the highest AD for Pakistan the past 6 years under the Conservative government. And the relationship still continues because there's so much projects the government is actually putting into line to Pakistan to assist in the women projects and more aid and the poverty and the education sector. We have discussed relevant, important issues, which are very burning issues for Birmingham, which Andy himself will be able to address. The kind of experience which he has is very passionate to work with the diverse communities, ethnic communities, and especially the 200,000 Pakistanis residing in the Midlands. If he can basically be elected, which we are very hopeful, we rate the figures showing completely in positive mode. We want to make sure we support him. Myself, as a director for Conservative Friends of Pakistan, I'm going to be giving the full support on the behalf of the 200,000 Pakistanis. And from our body, from our chairman for Conservative Friends of Pakistan, we are fully supportive. I'm going to hand you to Andy Street.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure's mine.
And can I say salam alaikum to start the afternoon. So it's great to be here, and this special event put on by the Conservative Friends of Pakistan for the mayoral election. So I thought what I would do is say a little bit about myself to introduce myself to your viewers, and then talk a little bit about what I want to do for the West Midlands region. So I'm a proud Brummie, that's how I'm always introduced. I grew up here, I know this place, and I know what's needed to improve it. I moved away from Birmingham to follow my career in John Lewis, as we've just heard from your director. And I was with John Lewis as managing director for 10 years. So in that time, I learnt how to lead a business and create jobs and share the success of that business with all of the employees. But I stood down from John Lewis last October in order to stand for this mayoralty. And over the last 3 months, and it'll be going on for the next 3 months as well, I'll be out and about in the community learning of the needs of all of the ethnic minority communities in the West Midlands, but particularly of the Pakistani communities. We've been to Alum Rock, we've been to the Ladypool Road, and of course we've been to mosques, both at the Central Mosque and in the Visit My Mosque Day on Clifton Road last Sunday. And this election is a great opportunity for the West Midlands because it gives us a chance to restore the leadership, the economic leadership of the West Midlands in Britain as a whole. And what I want to do is make sure that everyone in the community shares in the success of the economy, just as the Prime Minister has said for the country. I want to ensure that happens for the West Midlands. The Mayor will have special powers over transport, so we'll run buses, trains, metro. We'll have power over jobs and new economy and over housing. All things that I think the Pakistani community are particularly interested in. So, despite the fact I say that this is all about success for everybody, there are one or two specific things for the Pakistani community that I would like to call out. And of course, I should start off by saying that post-Brexit, my role is to make a success, particularly of new trading opportunities with Pakistan. And indeed, we've already met the consul to talk about those opportunities. Specific issues. The educational progress of the Pakistani community is particularly important. That's seen a huge change and improvement over recent years, but we've got more to do to raise aspirations even further. Where we see less progress is in career progression. So the Pakistani community has lower income levels and the lowest levels of engagement in the workforce. And what I want to do is look to see how we address this, and particularly amongst women in the workforce. So what are we doing to get more entrepreneurial businesses amongst Pakistani women? Particularly keen as well that the government has put £20 million available for English as a second language, and that too is very relevant, particularly to Muslim women who do not have sufficiently good English. So we'll want to make sure we support that. And then lastly, as a specific issue, we've been hearing about the difficulty for coroners to give certificates of death over weekends, which I know is a particular issue in the community, and I'd commit to raise that with all of the local authorities who do need to do that. But overall, my mission, as I say, is to restore leadership of the West Midlands and make sure that this region is really the example to the rest of Britain and the world as to how every community can share in that success. So the first thing to say is the City Council continues to run itself. So it is not the Mayor's responsibility to run those services. But what the Mayor will do is bring some new funding streams for new initiatives. So, for example, Transport for the West Midlands, that is run by the Mayor and by the Combined Authority, not by the City Council. So we must look at creatively about those new funding areas. And that's why I'm able to talk about some of the new creative things we will do.
I want to ask you a question as well. You've been talking about the education, especially engaging the females, the Asian females, and also the job opportunities.
Yeah.
But one important thing is there's a high crime rate, especially in Birmingham or in the West Midlands.
Yeah.
So what,
So
the police reaches the crime rate very late. So do you have some plans to improve the system?
Okay. So let's be really clear about this. For the first 3 years of the mayoralty, I do not have direct control over policing. So let's not claim something I don't have.
Okay.
But the mayor is very, very, very influential in this, because a lot of those crimes come about as a consequence of other things. So I am absolutely committed to tackle what might be called the causes of crime, particularly in the areas of poor joblessness, particularly in the areas of poor housing, poor public realm, all of those things. But to be absolutely clear, it is the responsibility of the police to actually act upon the incidents of crime. But absolute clarity, I would be intolerant of sort of low-level crime, because that is the beginning of more serious crime.
Okay.
Considering